crafty friend, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's junk journal flip through video. I've given this week's project what's either the most poetic or the most pretentious title I've ever given to a junk journal before. I'll let you be the judge of which. Anyway, I call this one Reflections on a Springtime Dream in Seafoam Green and Aquamarine. And it's kind of a neutral palette. I tried to stick within the Seafoam Green, Aquamarine neutral sort of a color scheme. The cover is made from one of my antique French book cover printables, and it comes in the kit that I call, I think it's called Antique French Book Covers and French postal pieces. So anyway, I printed it half the size of the original file to create this cute little mini book cover. You can kind of see it next to my hand. It is literally smaller than my hand, although as usual, she turned out to be quite a chunky monkey. And on the cover, instead of leaving it plain in this beautiful cartonnage style, I put an applique with these lovely little mini faux pearls and sequins, and in some lighting, the sequins really pick up that aquamarine sort of seafoam color. This was a gift from the lovely Kimberly, so thank you so much, Kimberly. This is how it looks coffee dyed. I coffee dyed some of the appliques she sent me. And then on top of it, I've pinned a brooch that's kind of like a crocheted rose. And in the center of that, just because I like to add a pop of color if my covers are looking too neutral, I put this pretty enamelware vintage earring. Super cute. If that had come in a full pair, I would have given them to my Auntie Mary Lynn, who collects vintage enamelware flowers. But there was just one in a junk jewelry jar, and I thought, perfect for this cover. I just love that layered look. So anyway, let's get into it. And I adore the way this one turned out. Yeah, it's going to try to pop open as I present the different little bits of ephemera. So pardon me as it does its own thing while I do my own thing. I'll let it happen. The first little bit of ephemera tucked into the front cover inside upper tuck pocket is this reproduction that I made of a salesman's sample booklet for calling cards. I did a video last week how to actually make this, and it is one of my absolute favorite ephemera pieces of all time. I'm going to wait for someday when I'm not really feeling inspired to create anything new, and I plan on printing out and making like 5 or 6 of these. Like I plan to do some mass making so that I have them always on hand and ready to include in journals, because I think it's like the most fun little thing ever. So anyway, I did it front and back. I love it. The added pieces that I glued onto the envelope were the prints on cardstock of these pieces here that I have in the printable kit as separate little printable pieces. And of course the envelope is in the kit, the background page thing is in the kit, each of the cards is in the kit. And I should point out, I washi taped these into place, so you could take these out and use them separately, or you can take them out, and my idea was take the washi tape off, you can do some secret journaling, and then tape this back into place. And if anybody ever dares to invade the private sanctum of your junk journal, they would probably never guess that there's writing on the backs of these. And of course, you can also write inside the little flip over parts of these little fussy cuts. So anyhow, the kit for this is in my Etsy shop, of course. And if you're interested in seeing me make it, that video is up on my YouTube channel. I showed this to my Kenley, my boyfriend, before getting ready to film this video. And his comment was like, Sarah, are you sure you want to give away your original calling card samples? And I told him, this is the print I made. And he said, that's the copy? So I was quite impressed that it fooled him. And he then went on to say that I could probably forge antique documents. And I don't think I'm fooling anybody, but always nice to get that feedback when we try to make something look distressed and aged. So anyway, the first page of the booklet signature is a page from my newest digital kit, which is inspired by birthstones and the flowers of the month for every month. And since I'm making this book in March, the March birthstone is Aquamarine and the flower is daffodil. So you'll see a few of those throughout the book. And I took a sun from my Celestial Ephemera digital kit and inked the back. And then I held that in with some washi tape, trying to get it. Of course it's fighting with me because I'm on film or on camera. But I tried to, oops, I guess I picked a stronger washi tape than I meant to. I tried to coordinate so that the washi tape matches the little bit of ephemera. So this is a really fun Celestial washi tape with a golden sun on it. And the reason I picked this one is that if you want to take out the sun and use it elsewhere in the journal or in some other project, not only are you able to do that, but you can also use that pretty washi tape somewhere. So yeah. And of course I printed that page at about 68% of the original size to get it to fit this mini book. I taped in a die cut of a 4-leaf clover to give a little bit of good luck. This page is a fun one. I had this little strip of pretty green colored paper, and instead of just leaving it plain, I decided to make it a little flip book. And so the pocket is made from a piece of genuine wallpaper, and then I tucked into it another page from my printable birthstone flower of the month stationery printable kit. And I love how the aquamarine in this one is the center of one of the daffodils. Just so pretty. A little interesting historical factoid about birthstones is that originally they were not meant to be the stone worn exclusively by people born in that month. They were meant to be the gemstone every lady wore that particular month. So jewelers have always been great marketers of their craft, haven't they? And so the original idea was that in January we all wear garnets, in February we all wear amethysts, in March we all wear aquamarines, in April we all wear diamonds, should we be so lucky. Anyhow, on the back there is a label. I was inspired by the beauty of Art Nouveau perfume labels. I saw a book on an account I follow on Instagram called Book Historia. I love her feed, and I always have book envy when she shows her collection. So she had a book of antique, just gorgeous perfume labels, like a sampler of labels. And I did as much Googling as I could to try to find a printable version of those beautiful historic perfume labels. Nothing was available. And then I did an eBay search thinking maybe I could get lucky and find one on eBay. The closest thing I could find was over $400. So that dream, that dream died very sadly. But then I thought, you know what, why not create my own? And that's when I had the idea to create perfume bottle labels, but inspired by the months of the year. So the kit comes with at least 4 perfume labels for every month, incorporating the birthstone and the flower of that specific month. But yeah, I hope this book isn't just limited to those born in March. Like, it's for anybody and everybody. And I plan on using the labels interchangeably month to month, depending on what goes with whatever I'm working on. These little extras in the pocket are just snippets from my French postal kit. Great to add into collages, just kind of cut them out and stick them down with a glue stick. And I thought it was cool that the genuine antique French envelope on the following page has the real version of this exact stamp. So that's kind of fun. You get the printed ephemera version and also the real deal. This was one of my recent purchases from Sarah at Crafty Paper Bits, who I did an unboxing of her goodies last week. Anyway, I try to include one of these in every journal I make. It's beautiful textured kind of onion skin-ish paper from the lovely Angelica in Austria. And these are receipts from 1950. Really cool, authentic staining, authentic patina, genuinely aged. So there's a little fun bit for you to play with, tucked into this pocket. And it's a tight fit. I folded it as best I could, but of course, when I do this off camera, it's very, very easy. And then when I'm filming, there's always a bit of a struggle to get things back into their pockets. But I don't know about you. I find maybe I'm too picky, and I'm sorry if I am. But when I watch flip-throughs of other people's junk journals, when they take the ephemera out of the pockets and then set it to the side, I don't know whether it's OCD or what. I don't have that, but I think I have a very specific version of that where I want to see the thing back in its right place. And so that's why I struggle on camera. But anyway, I decorated the back of this envelope with a little strip of the washi tape that I have in my Magic Carpet digital kit. These are actually little miniature Persian carpets. I put a pretty textile sample, and this is over top of a lovely sage green original handwritten French document. It's so fun that the signature is on this particular piece. And that's not printed, that's original. There are tons of originals in this little journal. Another of my perfume labels from that kit. There is a genuine, just lovely aquamarine pendant that I made. So you get the crystal healing benefit of aquamarine, if that's something that you believe in. I feel like whether we believe in it or not, crystals have a beneficial, uplifting energy to them, just because they are works of nature art. Another piece from my French postal printable kit, a lovely postal stamp from Cons. Very cool. I may never be able to travel the world, but at least I can collect ephemera from all the places I would love to see. Speaking of traveling the world and places, this paper was handmade in Saudi Arabia by the beautiful and talented May. I just love her coffee dyed paper. This is one of my 1960s ledger papers that I found in a local antique shop. And I turned it into like a washi tape sampler page. So you can, of course, take these strips off. I won't do it. I'm not gonna do it, not on camera. But if you buy the book, you can, of course, take these off and use them. And some of them have gilding. They're just so pretty. I love this one with the crane. And these are from my favorite washi tape roll of all time. I hardly ever use it because it's just so hoardable, but it's in this beautiful seafoam green with Art Nouveau ladies. And I love this one in particular because she's holding some kind of a book that would now be an antique. When you envy the ephemera in your ephemera, you know you have a problem, right? Anyway, another writing page from that printable kit, the same one, of course, as that first page. And it's just tipped in with some washi tape so you can take it out. Pardon the ink marks on it. I may have to invest in a new printer. This is some very heavy textured wallpaper. An antique French magazine page from the 1920s. Here is our Bluebird of Happiness. That's some really fun die-cut washi tape on a vintage piece of stationery paper. Another tipped-in piece from my printable kit, just on some Robin's Egg Blue writing paper. I fussy cut this out of more of that printed daffodil paper from my kit, and into the pockets I put some really gorgeous antique French paper. This is from 1919, from a French missal celebrating Saint Joan of Arc. And the illustrations on the pages show scenes from her story, from her life story. So as her story goes, she heard the voice of Archangel Michael speaking to her. And so that's where her story begins. She follows the advice in that story and becomes the leader of the French army, defending the country of France. The prince becomes one of her supporters, and she accompanies him on a trip to Rome where he's crowned. And I think maybe that coronation came to her in a vision too. I'm not that big on her life story, but my goodness, are these ever stunning illustrations. Like, you could see this be in a stained glass window. It's just so, so pretty. There were 4 pages, one of each, at the end of this missal that were blank, like no writing in them. And I'm going to scan those as well as one of each that has the French writing to make a printable kit, or to add to a printable kit. And then sadly, she was burned at the stake as a heretic when the British Army caught her. And of course they didn't want a woman, a successful, strong, powerful woman, leading the winning team against them. So anyway, it was later determined that the bishop who allowed for her burning at the stake was in the wrong, but of course the damage had already been done. This is some gorgeous French cotton rag book paper. And I just want to point out the fact that I did not ink the edges of this beautiful stuff. That is natural aging. And it's just so cool to see. Like, that is what we're trying to achieve when we ink our papers. And I have to remember when I ink the edges of my papers to sometimes give a dot here and there in the interior too, because that's how they wind up looking. Here is some packaging paper that I put through my embossing machine. I nearly painted in this bird to be blue, but I decided against it because I thought that might be too stark or too blaring against the neutral. And plus we already had a Bluebird of Happiness just a couple pages back. Where did it go? Well, you remember it. There it is. So this is an antique French advertisement, genuine. Again, look at those inked edges, inked by time itself. This is some vintage printer paper from back when printers needed the perforated holes on the edges for some reason. This is some really cool die-cut washi tape, just exactly in the colors of this book. Genuine vintage French ephemera, hiver 1958 à 59, so winter 1958 to 59. It's for lingerie. Ooh. Made a pocket page here out of another vintage or antique. I didn't see a date on this one, but another old French page. And into that, I put some antique paper from Austria with just absolutely gorgeous font on it. This was another gift from Angelica. And then edged that in some gold trim. This page flips out, so you can tell there's a lot of actual writing space in this journal. I tried to leave a lot of room for writing. These pieces come as bonus extra pieces in my salesman sample calling card kit. And then this is the one that I had fussy cut and turned into a pocket a few pages back in its full form from that Birthstones kit, the newest kit. And then this is just some upcycled junk jewelry. I think that was a broken earring, and I thought, perfect. It'll look great dangling off the side of this book. Kind of darker than Seafoam green and darker than Aquamarine, but the same color family. Now we've come to the center of the signature. The center is a strip of this genuine French seamstress guidebook page. It's so cool. I just love Sarah at Crafty Paper Bits. On Instagram, her shop is called at Petite Papier Shop. She just has the neatest stuff. And the center is ribbon bound because the entire signature lifts out. So it is removable. The cover is its own piece. Oops. So you could refill this just with blank paper and take the ephemera out if you want like a slim portable book, or you can keep the journal that I made in it. Or you could put this in a different cover. Like there's all kinds of options. But anyway, so yeah, the very center is this really gorgeous Victorian fan with a couple romantically lounging amongst the flowers. Very cool. And the whole thing is sewn in with this aquamarine colored antique French embroidery thread. Yet another purchase from Petite Papier Shop. I bought a lot from her, but I'm going to use every last little bit of it. And in fact, even the ribbon that's attached to the cover piece that ties this all in came with my very first purchase from her, which was a pack of seafoam green colored ephemera. The original handwritten page from the 1800s that's in here was part of that same pack, this gorgeous paper. And I have scanned it. I'm just waiting to get a couple of more pieces to scan to add to the printable kit before I release that. But in the meantime, I thought it was nice to use some of the original. I made a pocket on this page using some kind of netted yarn. And in there, I put a beautiful print by the beautiful and talented Kat Stone. I adore this print. See this woman dancing, surrounded by fairies and spring flowers blooming. If I think of a springtime dream, this is what I imagine, you know, wearing just a beautiful, billowy, floral embroidered dress, dancing in a field, attracting fairies. It's just so pretty. And I backed that with more of that robin's egg blue old printer paper. So yeah, that's the springtime dream upon which I'll reflect in my aquamarine and seafoam green booklet. The other side of that folded French paper book page, I created some ephemera in there by taking a page out of a water garden book, like a book about how to have a water garden. And I backed it with this music paper and then just kind of glued it down on the edges and then filled those pockets with some of these vintage European train and bus tickets. Very cool. These ones must be British, but look at that vintage guy. So cute. These are originals, of course, and they have a really cool, like, lightweight texture to them. And then on this side, I included more original European. These ones I think might be German. Hanchen sounds like a German word. And, whoops. So yeah, I put glue here, 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 and here, and then like glued it down onto that backing paper so that there's a secret pocket, again, for those who like to do a little bit of secret journaling, that you can't really tell is there, right in the top. So in there I stuck just a scrap of this pretty green paper, but you could put whatever you want into there. Oops. And that just lives in this little pocket here. The other side of that lingerie piece, just gorgeous, gorgeous old French paper. Another bit of fussy cut from my own printable kit. The other side of this old printer paper. Cool old ad for an elixir. This was from a French magazine from, I think, the 1930s. And I love these two ladies having a little gossip and maybe drinking some tea. Very cool hairstyles. The other side of that embossed packing paper. Here's more of that lovely cotton rag paper. Whoops. A cat hair snuck its way in. I'll have to pick that off with some tweezers off camera, but whoops. Of course it's going to bother me. But anyway, beautiful robin's egg blue paper. This fussy cut piece is another Victorian scrap piece, also included as an extra in my calling card printable kit. This is the one, if you watch that video, when I went to cut it out and I tore more than I should have, and then I said, oh shoot, because I accidentally ripped it in half. Well, I had to use this one in this book because the one on the other page was too big for this piece. But once I glued it down with a glue stick, I don't even remember where I tore this that shouldn't have been torn. I thought it was over here somewhere, but it feels pretty seamless. So yeah, if you ever tear into your paper, try a glue stick. So yeah, this cool vintage note paper actually has secretarial shorthand practiced on it, and that's pretty fun. I saw something recently online, a Gen Z person responding to somebody older, like my age or your age, or I don't know how old you are, but somebody older saying that, you know, it's so stupid to say that kids should be learning cursive writing because, you know, people stopped learning shorthand and it had no negative impact on anyone. And I just want to point out, I'll play the role of the boomer here. Historic documents are written in cursive. They are not written in shorthand. So we don't need to be able to read this because this is notes taken in a meeting for a company that's now irrelevant. However, if you want to read things like the Declaration of Independence or your grandparents' old love letters or documents that you purchase and you'd like to know what they're about, like old land deeds or marriage certificates, you should be able to read cursive. Anyway, I did a little fabric sampler and I did a variety this time instead of limiting myself just to my sari trims. I wanted to include a variety. Sorry, are we losing the light? I'll open the curtain. I had to close the curtain because it was too sunny and then you get glare and I never know what kind of lighting to do these videos in. So let me know, do you prefer the sunlight even though there's glare or do you prefer the shade? Anyway, I love this one. This is from a piece of ethnic Indian clothing. And then this is just some fun stuff I found at a thrift shop in Fort Macleod, birthplace of Joni Mitchell. And this is some fun antique Victorian lacework, just a little snippet. And then on the other side, my most exciting new thrifted find was a whole dupatta, which is like a large-sized Indian shawl made out of this beautiful silky green polka-dotted fabric with these lovely embroidered flowers. This is hand done. Like, I don't think you have machines that can do this exact kind of work. Very, very gorgeous. I plan on doing another spring-themed journal, maybe with peridot in this color. And then more textile samples are pinned to the inside. Oh, I did this one upside down. No wonder it was looking dark. Just pop that over. So yeah, I love this sequin stuff from May. And then this is one of my all-time favorite thrifted fabric finds. It's just so retro. It's such a 70s flower garden looking piece. The other side of the coffee dyed paper from May. Some tassel trim. The other side of that beautiful handwritten French paper. One of those fan fussy cut pieces just as it is, so you can do some journaling on it. I put that into a pocket made out of some music paper on the back side of that envelope. And I left the envelope just as it is, so you can journal on that too. And I love this piece, this beautiful, I don't know the word for it. Like it's iridescent and it reflects different colors, but the colors it reflects are Seafoam and Aquamarine. So again, perfect for this book theme. That was loose in a junk jewelry jar, so I just glued it down using some Fabri-Tac. And I think it looks super cute there. Inside this piece of envelope, I put an entire page of the book about how to write in shorthand. And I'm not going to pull it out because I know I would struggle to get it back in again, but it does slide out. And then on this piece of folded up ledger paper, I put a paper clip that I tied a little bow to and included just a little frosted plastic flower and a really cute little pendant. It looks like sterling silver. It's probably not. No, it's definitely not. But it looks like a silver and aquamarine, even though it's costume, but very pretty. But here, this one is real aquamarine. I should mention the crystal healing benefits to aquamarine are meant to be related to the throat chakra, so our center of self-expression, creativity, speaking, and writing. It's recommended as a gemstone talisman for anyone who has to do public speaking or any kind of performance art because it helps break that fear of public speaking or of being on stage or standing up in front of an audience. I've had people ask me sometimes, how do you speak on camera? Like other crafters who would like to do maybe flip through videos or craft along videos, asking how do you overcome that initial hesitation to start talking when you're filming yourself. I always wear light blue stones. They're good for the throat chakra, aquamarine being one of them. So anyway, the last page is the same as the first page. The only difference being instead of the sun, which we begin with, we conclude with the moon. Oh, and the washi tape on the back of the moon. Yay, this one's coming off easily. Shows the phases of the moon, from waxing to full to waning. And I think it's just these little touches that make a junk journal special to me. You know, nobody else might even know that that's in there, but we will know that on the back of the sun, there is some sun washi tape, and on the back of the moon, there is some lunar phase washi tape. And to me, that's just magic. The details. God is in the details. Anyway, the back page, I should mention that the paper or the print on the inside of this book is from my Blue Backgrounds digital kit. And then instead of using a brad, I took a single little cute sparkly butterfly earring and held together a little packet of papers. Just scrap papers. And so they can move around like this. You can write on them back and front and put them back into their place. And then in this pocket, I had tucked a little envelope that I made a pocket using some gorgeous sequined sari trim. And I stuffed it with one of the extras from the printable kit of salesman samples, a couple extras from my birthstone flower of the month kit, a coupon for jam and marmalade from the 1960s, showing that cute little nabob genie. I love that a little turbaned genie was their mascot. So cute. And then some pink tickets. And I took all of these out of the pocket just to show you that I decorated this miniature manila envelope with some seafoam green paper, of course the sari trim pocket, and then one more of these lovely, lovely tags. This one's my favorite of all the perfume labels in the March kit. I just love that large aquamarine looking like a vase or like a perfume bottle with the flowers coming out of it. So, so cute. So let's see. Of course they don't want to go back in as perfectly as I had them the first time, but there we go. That works. So inside this envelope, wrapped up in just some extra green cardstock, I put one of each of the perfume labels. These are included in the kit. They come on 2 pages just like this. And then where there was extra room, I included just this elvish looking multicolored Art Nouveau crystal floral paper. But anyway, these are just inked on the back like journaling cards. And they show you the flower and gemstone of the month for each month of the year. So I'll just do a quick little flick through. And the printable kit comes with these as well as the blank version, so you can write your own little message or label inside as you prefer. I love this one. I choose Moonstone, which is the alternate gemstone for the month of June. You'll see sometimes pearl and sometimes moonstone. For me, for vegan reasons, I don't work with pearls, but I do love moonstone, a very mystical, divine feminine stone. I love this one. It was hard to choose. Like each of the months comes with 4 different variations of the perfume labels. And some of them light, some of them dark with the black border. This might be my favorite. Opals are just a whole other level of magical. So, so pretty. November always makes me think of my friend May. And December, for some reason, it wouldn't generate a larger opening for the label for December, so I had a smaller space to work with, but I still managed to do it. So the font is a little bit smaller for December than the others, but I just adore this. It looks like blue zircon in the centers of the narcissus flowers, and it also looks like turquoise enamel, like beneath the gold filigree work. So that's just so cool. My birthday is in December, and I've debated while creating the kit whether to go with turquoise or blue topaz or blue zircon or tanzanite. Like December, we're lucky to have so many different options for our birthstone. And I chose blue zircon just simply because it's a natural stone, unlike blue topaz, which is typically heat treated. And it looks like an actual gem, unlike turquoise, which is opaque. And that's the other reason I prefer moonstone to pearl. Like, even if pearls were completely cruelty-free, I quite like a gem to be translucent or transparent or chatoyant. It's just more magical to me than something that's opaque. But anyway, there we have it. And it's all tied up with the seam binding and yeah, ready to find a new forever home. Oh, I should point out, the ring with purchase this time is this lovely spring floral ring. It's so cute. It's adjustable, so no matter your finger size, this baby can be squished tighter or pulled larger. And I just love it. I think it looks so cute together with this little journal. And I will tie it up in this pretty springtime green scarf. And yeah, if you feel like this is meant to be yours, you can find it. I'll put the link to my Etsy shop in the video description below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. So much love to you. And happy spring and happy crafting. Bye for now.